Hello everybody, I'm Arglefumf. This is the schedule for my book review channel for August 2023. More Babysitters Club. On the 6th, we have book number 109. So that's where Marianne takes first aid classes because she feels helpless in an emergency. Which is weird because book number 4, her defining character moment, is her saving a young child in an emergency. But you know, that was over 100 books ago, so now she's feeling really bad about the fact that she's useless in emergencies and can't help anyone. So she takes first aid classes and gets a lot of lectures in order to be a more helpful person. And then we have book number 30, Kirsty. It's the Mystery Train. Okay, so this one wishes it was Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, I seem to remember. I may not want to get plot twists, but the idea is that they're filming a movie on a train or something like that, and somebody might have been murdered, but nobody really believes it. Okay. Boy, does that sound exciting. I don't remember it being very good. Okay, next, the next two Diary of a Wimpy Kid books on the 9th. This is The Meltdown, so that's the one that has a really giant snowball fight. I didn't like that very much. Maybe because I've never really been in a snowball fight myself. Book number 14 I really enjoyed. Wrecking Ball. I do agree with the criticisms that it sort of had a cop-out ending, but I still enjoyed the book overall. I thought it was pretty nice. And I did a poll here on my channel asking, what's the third thing I should post this month? People wanted Edgar Allan Poe mysteries. So I have the next two mysteries in the Edgar Allan Poe trilogy, starring Detective Dupin. So I did... Oh, what's the third one in this series? I'm reading them all out of order. Okay, so this is book number 1, Rue Morgue. Book number 2, Mystery of Marie Roget, which is kind of bad. It's not a very good mystery, to be honest. It doesn't have a solution because it's a real-life mystery taken from real life, and the real-life mystery had not been solved at that point in time. So it kind of can't have a conclusion. And then the third one is the Purloined Letter, which is really, really good, as is Murders in the Rue Morgue. That was an excellent book. Okay, on the 15th, more Babysitters Club. Super Special number 14. Oh man, I remember just hating every single storyline in this one. They travel across country. I remember they go to Seattle, and then they're able to go like back and forth across Seattle twice within a 15-minute time period. And no, that's not at all realistic. Seattle has traffic because it's a major city. I remember trying to drive in Seattle and getting confused and stuck in the traffic, and there's like this weird turnoff and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so it's them going across country and visiting random spots across the country. And it's a problem I have with a lot of the super specials where it's like, okay, we can't have an ongoing storyline because they're in a different state in every single chapter. So Abby can't have a 3-part story. And same with all the other girls. They're sort of forbidden from having an ongoing storyline just by the setup of the plot. And so it's just random episodes that don't connect, and yeah. Occasionally they have like 2 chapters that take place in the same state. Like I think we get 2 chapters in Texas and 2 chapters in South Dakota. And that kind of works. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is a terrible one. One of the worst Abby books. Probably one of the worst Babysitters Club books ever. Abby the Bad Sport. So Abby joins the Special Olympics, and she hates this girl. And we're not told what specific disorder this girl has. She has some sort of... I wouldn't say mental health issue. There are 2 ways to describe it. In the original book, they use like the term retarded. And then in the reprint, they use a more polite term. Like she has a mental disability. And still, Abby hates this girl, and she's mean to the girl, and insults her in public for being disabled. And that's just terrible. Just 0 out of 10, I think I gave that book. Really bad. Gosh. And it's sad because the book was trying to be, like, open-minded and helpful by portraying disabled people in a good light. But, you know, they're portraying the Special Olympics as a great positive thing, which it is. But it's paired with Abby just hating hating disabled people, and Abby is just mean and terrible. She's good for like the first 2 chapters when she acts like herself, but for the rest of the book she's terrible. This review, I'm just going to be trashing the book nonstop, so if you like seeing me insult Babysitters Club books, tune in on the 15th, you'll get your fill. Then the next 2 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, number 15, The Deep End. Really love that. It came out in 2020, I believe, in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and it's kind of about the pandemic, kind of not. The family goes on a crazy vacation. And then number 16 is probably one of my personal favorites, Big Shot, where Jeff, I was going to say Jeff, but no, Jeff is the name of the author. Greg is, he joins a basketball team. He doesn't want to join the basketball team. He's trying to fail and not get picked for the basketball team, but he ends up making the basketball team on purpose. And the basketball team is really terrible. It's like the opposite of a sports movie, like The Mighty Ducks, where we have a really bad team which gets better. It's like, no, they're a bad team and they just stay bad the whole time. And not to spoil the ending, but he finishes by getting the winning basket, an amazing 3-pointer for the wrong team, and that's just a hilarious ending twist, so I really like that one. Then my wife said I needed to make this video, so I did. I'm keeping my wife happy. I used ChatGPT to write a review for the first Babysitters Club book, and it was predictably inaccurate. It can't get many of the plot details. It has to guess at stuff like that. So, like, for example, it guesses that it knows that Abby Stevenson is one of the babysitters, and there's another character named Anna Stevenson. So it guessed that, oh, Anna is Abby's little sister, which is completely inaccurate. So, yeah. And then 2 more Edgar Allan Poe mysteries. Thou Art the Man, which is a pretty good mystery. I seem to remember liking it. The Oblong Box is a more traditional mystery. Like, it gives you all the clues you need ahead of time. Whereas Thou Art the Man kind of leaves out the important clues, so you can't solve the mystery by yourself. Although it does have, like, a really fun dramatic scene where the dead body pops out of the coffin and says, "You're the one who killed me!" Well, he says, "Thou art the man," specifically, quoting scripture, one of the stories in the Bible. But, yeah, that's a really dramatic scene, and that's why it's my thumbnail for that. Okay, on the 27th, Runaway, which is the next Sammy Keys book, kind of a Sammy Keys book. So it's written by the Sammy Keys author, and it's about the runaway girl. Holly, that's right, it's Holly from book number 3, I believe. So it's Holly's backstory leading up to the book 3. I think the final third is her arriving in town and interacting with Sammy and stuff like that. And it was written after that last Sammy Keys book. What was that last one? Let's see. The Dead Giveaway. So mystery number 10. So in between mystery number 10 and mystery number 11, we had this Sammy Keys spin-off book. And that's what I'll be reading on the 27th. And then the next Warriors book. So, the Warriors continuity is a little convoluted at this point. I kind of had to look it up because it's all craziness. Where is it? Okay, Power of 3, the site. So after Power of 3 number 1, after that book was the Graystripe manga, episode 1 of the Graystripe manga. And so that's what I'm going to be posting, Graystripe's Adventures. Then on the 30th, Hannah Swensen, number 27, Triple Chocolate Cheesecake Murder, which was bad, but better than most of the books have been so far. So it was a step up, better investigation, but still kind of bad. Yeah, it's about the mayor being murdered. That's right. Oh, and it should be a big deal that the mayor's been murdered, because he's been a major character for many books now. But no, it really could have been anyone who was murdered, and there would be no difference whatsoever. Yeah, that's kind of a disappointment. Getting back to Warriors, though. After Graystripe's adventure was a Warriors Field Guide. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. The Warriors Field Guide, Secret of the Clans. And then it's book 2. No, wait. After that is Warriors Special Edition, Super Edition, Firestar's Quest. So I'm not sure what to do with the Warriors Warriors series, leave a comment if you have an idea what to do, because they were publishing like 3 or so different series at once. They had the Power of 3, they had the manga series, they had the Field Guide series, and they have the Super Editions series, all sort of going simultaneously, and that lasts until today. They're still releasing like the Super Editions alongside the main books, and occasionally releasing the field guides, although they are no longer releasing manga. I don't think they're doing the manga books. Here are the various book reviews that I did last month, July. So Wings of Fire #1, The Dragonette Prophecy. The graphic novel. So I read the graphic novel. I did not read like the actual novel series. I just read the first graphic novel. It was great, and I want to read another one soon. I finished with my current set of Goosebumps books, so hooray! Finishing Goosebumps books, and I just ran a random number generator to pick what I'm going to read next, and it's going to be a set of Garfield books I'm going to be reading next month. So, Garfield! Moving from Goosebumps to Garfield next month. So, 30 Tales to Give You Goosebumps, that's 3 different books in one. So I read all 3 of those books. It's a collection of short stories. So it's more Tales to Give You Goosebumps here. Even more Tales to Give You Goosebumps. And then just Tales to Give You Goosebumps, the first one. So I read the first 30 Goosebumps short stories. They're mostly okay. Yeah, this one is better. I think the third one is the best. The second one is the worst of the trilogy, and then the first one is second best. This one, Hannah Swensen, Christmas Dessert Murder, which I'll probably post next month, I believe, is a compilation of 2 different Hannah Swensen Christmas-themed murder books. And then I already showed off Warriors Field Guide, Secret of the Clans. I liked the original material. It had a bunch of short stories, but the rest of it was like reading an encyclopedia and was somewhat dull. I also read the Goosebumps official collector's caps books, which was not a very good book. I would not recommend it. It's like a 40-page book, and it does have some behind-the-scenes information, which I think the author made up. I don't think R.L. Stine actually wrote it or read it, so I think it's completely non-canon behind-the-scenes information. I read the first 2 books in the Octonauts series. You might know the Octonauts as a popular TV show. Well, it started off as a book series, and I read the first 2, and I'll read the next 2 sometime coming up. Only Lonely Monster was better than Sea of Shade. Although Sea of Shade had more cool illustrations and stuff, the story was just plain weird. I read the second book in the Wonder Woman Adventures series. This was really cool. It was like something out of a Percy Jackson book. Diana has to go through Hades to rescue children that are locked in a cage. Yeah, and a bunch of Greek gods are showing up, and so we have a bunch of underworld mythology. It's cool. It's cool, and she's got a dragon. Yeah. Another Bluey book, Bluey Bob Bilby. So that was okay. That was okay. I think the episode is probably better than the book, but the book's fine. And if you've if you've seen the episode, you'll probably like the book. Kids will be entertained by this. Read a bunch of American Girl Kit books. I think there are 1 or 2 more American Girl Kit books, and then I'll be done with all these various spin-offs. So one spin-off is just the short story book, Kit's Home Run, and then a collection of her various short stories. The Celery, Stalks at Midnight is the 3rd Bunnicula book, and it's okay. It's kind of slow, but still pretty fun. It's the book that introduces Howie, who's my favorite character of the series. Encanto, we don't talk about Bruno, so they made 2 different books called Encanto, We Don't Talk About Bruno, and both books are just the lyrics to the song. That's all. I find it amazing they wrote the same basic book twice. Then I read Overprotective, a Dragon Ball Z fanfic. Hey, it looks like I made a mistake here with this title. If it is chapter 30, then the description should say chapter 30. Great, fixing that. So, chapter 30 is like a stopping point with my fanfic, and I've been taking a really long time to read all the chapters of the fanfic. So I'm just going to stop here at chapter 30 and pick it up again, pick up the project again in a couple of months. I also read Warriors, Power of 3, number 2, so that's the second book in the series. Howliday Inn is the second Bunnicula book, and it's a murder mystery, and it's okay. I just couldn't get past the fact that we've got a Bunnicula book without Bunnicula in it. What? And then I read the Graystripe's Adventures. I read all of the books in the trilogy. So it's a trilogy, and it's also got... I did a series review. It's got a compilation that's all 3 books put together and in color, so I'd recommend getting the color version, which has all 3 books, rather than buying the 3 black and white books separately. Looks like more Dragon Ball Z fanfic. And then Bluey Mum School. Oh, that was a great episode of Bluey. It was a great book. I have not seen the episode. And that's it, actually. Those are all the books I reviewed in the month of July. So, thanks for watching my video, and like I said, leave a comment if you have any really cool ideas as to how I should publish my reviews for the Warriors series. Is there a specific order? Maybe, I'm thinking people just want me to review like the main books in the series, and they won't be super interested in the spin-offs, but who knows? I might read Firestar's Quest. I read like the first 2 chapters today, and this book is a brick. It is like 500 pages. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, bye everybody, have a nice month.